Andy, for the first time this season, we have got a first team win to discuss.
We have
which
indeed.
is good.
Yeah.
When you woke up on Saturday morning, do you have a feeling we were going to win?
Yeah, I think a few of us that dared to believe it thought that it was on the cards. Adi, who obviously comes down and coaches during the week, spoke to me on Friday, and he felt that things were starting to sort of gather momentum, and he was feeling quite good about it. But I suppose what you don't want to do is think too hard about it because of the ultimate disappointment if it doesn't happen. And really, the week was all about building towards it, keeping everybody's feet on the ground, hopefully getting them into a state of mind where they believe that they could do it, and then producing the performance on the day. So yeah, sort of, but I suppose it wasn't until it happened that I was prepared to believe that it had happened.
Yeah, so it must have been quite an emotional moment when we did actually win.
Yeah, I suppose we'd got ourselves into a 2-try lead, or 2 converted tries lead, with maybe 5 or 6 minutes to go, and you started to relax a little bit. Clearly, they upped the game for those last few minutes and did squeeze over and got a pretty decent conversion. So that now started to make you a little bit more nervous, and just hope that the boys would regroup and keep performing the way they'd done for the whole game. So when the final whistle went, yes, a certain amount of sort of inward satisfaction. Obviously, the players showed it all, and it's just a very difficult sort of moment. I mean, we felt that it was there, and it, at long last it had come, and made sure that we did all the right and proper things that you do after a game of sport, which is obviously shake hands with the opposition, and their coach was very complimentary, so that was nice, and then enjoyed the moment with the rest of the players.
Yeah, so well done to everybody. It's been a long time coming, but it was really enjoyable when it actually happened, if a little nerve-wracking. So we've got the win now. Have you had to focus on training this week on actually acknowledging the win but thinking about the next match, making sure we don't lose focus?
Yeah, very much so. We talked last week about that the effort they'd been putting in was going to start to bring some results, which happened, and we still want them to keep putting that effort in, and we've got to sort of focus on this week. Slightly different kettle of fish in that we're playing obviously one of the top 5 or 6 teams, so it will be completely different. They scored 100 points against us when we played them early on in the season. So we've just got to be a bit more realistic with our targets, bringing that score down and perhaps scoring some points ourselves, not losing the effort, and not losing the fact that that's what got us that result. So yes, it's been just bringing everybody back down to ground, really.
Okay, and I think we've signed a new player today.
Yeah, we've been trying to sign him for about a week. It's just getting all the documentation in place, because he is another Fijian serving in the British Army up at Bicester, where Joe is, and his name is, well, we will be calling him Max, as everybody else calls him that. And his surname, and he'll have to forgive me if he's listening to this, is Tuwai. I think it's Tuiwai. I think Max is probably the best way to address him. He was here watching on Saturday. He came down with Joe. He can play in the front row and he can play in blindside, and so we will probably get him involved this weekend. And see what he can do for us. So yes, that's just another addition, really.
Okay, so there's a lot going on at the club, isn't there, this weekend? We've got Southend at home on Saturday, which we just talked about. Now on Sunday, the Colts are away at Cirencester in the Cup, and then home here at 2:15, we've got a Berkshire Cup match.
Yeah, I'm obviously very busy weekend for us all, and it's sort of brought some headaches for me. I suppose that's why that's one of the things I have to do in my job. Is we talked about it a few weeks ago when the Colts had their last National Colts Cup game, and managing those players that are actually playing our first team so that they could go and perform on a Sunday. And the same thing has happened again this week. And add to that the Berkshire Cup game against Reading. The rules of the competition put some restrictions on us we're only allowed to play 5 players who have played 50% or more games for us this season. So obviously some of the guys like Martin and Alistair Widdup and Tom Fiddler, Andy Cannock, Andy Gale, all of those guys would fulfil that. Now we can play 5 of them, and at the moment we probably will use our 5 quota. But then it's then looking at guys that haven't played very much, haven't are through injury or just availability. Obviously Joe comes into the equation there because he hasn't. But the last thing I want to do obviously is play players twice in a weekend because that's not good for them. And so it will, to some extent, be very much just having a look and see what things are like on Saturday after the game. And there are a few guys that we will rest specifically for the cup game, and there will be guys. So Jack Sawbridge hasn't been with us for a few weeks now, but Jack's available and coming down to play. Matt Gibson, who's been at Bath Uni, is hopefully going to be available to us. So a couple of the guys that have been away, so it would be harsh to put them straight into our Saturday team, but they're certainly available for Sunday, and then we'll see what survives Saturday to get out there on a Sunday.
Okay, great. Thanks, Andy. And let's hope all our teams have a good weekend.
Thank you.